So I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all the second part to the story. So actually months have been passed since the incident with Antoine and Tiffany. So this time Tiffany's still sticking to her regular schedule. Tiffany she goes out again, go hang out with some friends, come home drunk. This time when Tiffany gets home, Anthony and Antoine is there. They're both awake. So she normally, greets Anthony when she comes in the house. This time she said, "Come on, babe, like let's go in the room." And he stands there and he looks at her. Antoine also stands there. He didn't say anything. So he said, "I got a suggestion." She's drunk. She's like, "What kind of suggestion?" He said, "How about my brother join us?" She's like, "For what?" He's like, we practically the same person. Like, we're twins. Like, we look just alike. We dress alike. We act alike. We sound alike. Like, it's practically the same person. Like, you said you wanted to have a threesome. Like, shit, why not have a threesome with two of me? She's like, "Come on, Anthony. Like, it's not two of you. Like, you're twins. Like, I'm not about to do that." He's like, "Man, come on. Like, let's take a couple more shots. Like, let's just have a good time. Like, it's gonna be fun." So they all sit in the living room and at the table, at the little dining table, and they decide to take these shots and have drinks. So she's already drunk. So she's like, "All right, man, come on. Like, all right, y'all tripping. Like, I'll take some shots with y'all though." So one thing leads to another. Like, she started making out with Anthony. Anthony, like, start caressing her, leads her to the bedroom. He say, like, "Go ahead and get showered, like, get yourself together and I'll be back in there." So he leaves the room. So she does that. She gets in bed. Anthony walks in and he started making out with her, and one thing leads to another. They're doing their deed. The bedroom door opens and she say, "Antoine, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm not Antoine. It's me, baby. It's Anthony." She say, "What?" He say, "Don't stop. Continue." She said, "Man, I already told you, like, this is not what we're about to do. Like, what do you mean?" So he walks in, he start kissing on her. Now she realizes this is Anthony. Like, though the way he kisses her compared to how Antoine kissed her wasn't the kisses she was used to. But again, she thought she was just drunk. So long story short, he got the kissing on her and touching on her, and in the process, Antoine started touching on her too. So now the trio begins. So now they're doing all the touching, kissing, feeling. They end up having sex and so on and so forth. So the next morning, she wakes up and prepares for work as usual. And she's like having these racing thoughts. Like, she don't know what to say. She don't know what to say to him. She don't know what to say to Antoine. So she's like, she keeps it to herself. She doesn't tell her friends about it. She keeps going like nothing ever happened. And eventually she just let it go. Like, all right, that was just a drunk night. Like, we just had a good time. Like, I'm not even worried about it. They haven't said anything. whatever. So a couple months go past and she started getting sick. She's throwing up, can't hold anything down. She's fatigued. She's tired. So she's like, man, what the fuck? Like, what did I eat? Like, so she thinks she's something wrong. So she get like a Sprite to coat her stomach and some crackers. But she vomits that up. So she's like, nah, man, come on. Like, she started thinking, like, what's today's date? Like, I should be on. She look at the calendar like, nah, I'm actually late. Like, I should have been on. Like, how did I forget that I haven't came on? So she thinks about it like, okay, all right, let me check my calendar. Did I come on last month? Like, I had to come on last month. Like, checks her calendar. There's nothing there. She looks again like, no. So she's like, all right, I'm just wait till I get off of work. I'm not gonna stress myself. I'm not gonna worry myself. She goes to the closest drugstore, supermarket, gets a pregnancy test. She finds out she is pregnant. So she's like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, nah, she didn't think nothing of it. Like, all right, what I'm gonna tell Anthony? Like, man, I don't know if we're ready for kids. So she's like, I'm gonna just wait till he come home. I'm gonna just go straight home. Like, I'm gonna cook dinner. I'm gonna try to act completely normal, and I'm gonna don this on him. So she gets home, she cooks dinner, she makes him a bomb-ass dinner, like salmon, lobster tails, asparagus, buttered potatoes, and so on and so forth, candlelight. Like, so he comes in from work, he's like, what's going on here? Like, what I do to deserve this? She like, nothing, trying to play shit cool. He like, oh, okay, like, you must have had a real good day at work. She's like, I did. So after dinner, she brings out a pie. And when she serves him his pie, she slides him his fork with with the results, the pregnancy test. And he's like, nah, like, when did you find out? Like, what? Is this real? Like, she's like, yeah, like, I took 2 tests. That's the very first one. I have the second one in my purse. I can go get it for you. So she removes herself from the table. She goes, she gets the second test, and it still says that she's pregnant. He like, what? Oh my God, like, he's excited, but he's like, what? He like, so you have to make an appointment. Like, how far along you think you are? She's like, honestly, I gotta be somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks. So he's like, all right, let me know when you make the appointment so we can figure out how far you are, and we'll decide what we want to do. So she ended up getting an appointment for the very next week. She go in, they ask the standard questions. When the last time you had your menstrual cycle, etc., etc. So she's like, I thought I got one last month, but I normally write it down on my calendar. I didn't see it on there, and I normally get it around the same time. Like, I should actually be on right now, but I'm not on. So they're like, yes, Tiffany, you're about 8 weeks pregnant. She's like, 8 weeks? They're like, yeah, you're about 8 weeks. Like, you're, in between your first trimester going into your second. She's like, hold on, what? She was like, Anthony, like, I'm 8 weeks. He was like, yeah, like, dang, like, we about to be a family. Like, we about to have a baby. So she didn't say anything while the doctor was there. Like, they finished up their visit. They're about to leave. She wait till they get to the car, and she's like, Anthony, if I'm 8 weeks, like, remember it was me, you, and your brother. That night we all got drunk. He like, nah, like, nah. Like, we done had sex after that. Like, ain't no way. Like, she's like, all right. Like, I still feel like we might have to get a test. He like, why would we? Like, So she goes through the pregnancy, like, she eventually starts showing. The brother has come over now. Antoine's like, you pregnant? How far along? At this time, she like 6 months. She like, I'm 6 months. He like, you 6 months? She like, yeah, we just ain't said nothing because we didn't know if we wanted to keep it or not, because I was a little skeptical. And we just decided, that we're going to be a family, so we're going to keep it. He like, you know what y'all having? She's like, nah, we're going to do one of those gender reveal parties. You know me, I'm a little extra. Like, I want to be a little cheesy. I want to do my own thing. Like, he's like, oh, okay. He's like, but 6 months? He like, okay, all right. He said he didn't say anything, but his face clearly tells the story. So those 3 months finally pass, and she's due. She's about to have a baby. So she ended up having a baby boy. The baby comes out looking just like the twins. I have to sneeze. Sorry, bless me. So now Antoine says something like, hey, like, we're identical twins, so you didn't have this baby and the baby looked just like us. He's like, yes, we're identical twins, but I can't continue to be quiet about this. You know that we had a situation, all three of us. Like, I would need to know if I'm the father. She's like, man, you ain't the father. Like, me and him even had sex even after we all three had that one night. Like, you're not the father. He's like, you're saying that, but the truth of the matter is we had sex. And we all had sex. And I would really want to know if I'm the father. She's like, dude, like, you're not the father. Like you're tripping. Like, it's not yours. So he bring up the same scenario to his brother. He's like, well, if you feel like, you think like you could be the father, then we just all need to just do a DNA test. Like, so he's like, we all can pay for it and we'll get the results. So they decided to go and do it at a undisclosed location where, no one knows but them. So they do the test. They come back, they get their papers back, in a couple weeks, about a month or so. And she gets the results, Antoine gets the results, Anthony gets the results. So when they get the results, it tells Anthony that he's 99.9% the father, blah, 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 blah. When Antoine gets the results, it also tells him that he's 99.9% the father as well. She's like, so Anthony's excited. He's ready to call his brother, like, man, I told you, like, this ain't your baby. Like, ain't no way. Like, I told you, like, this mine. Like, he like, bro, like, my results say I'm the father too. He said, what? Ain't no way it's telling you the father. Mine say I'm 99.9% the father. He said, and so does mine. So they're like, now they're getting into it. Like, what the fuck? Like, how's that even possible? Like you your own man, I'm my own man. Like, so with her, she's so confused. She's pissed because she's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? Like, how's this even possible? Like, how y'all both gonna be the daddy? So, long story short, they end up calling the doctor, like, trying to figure out what's going on. And then, no, actually, they called the lab. And the lab, like, well, with those results, the two gentlemen that we tested to see if they're the father, they're identical twins. So because they're identical twins, they share the same DNA. Not only do they share the same DNA, they were conceived in the same sac. So we couldn't tell you who in particular is the father because they have the same DNA. So they both are the father, unfortunately. So once they got that information, they wanted to find another way to figure out who truly was the father. But doing that process was a bit expensive. So instead of going through that at that moment, they'd have just decided to leave it as Anthony being the father until they decided to go the other measure to confirm if Antoine was the father. Thank y'all. I might add a trio to the part 3. Let me know what y'all think of this story. I decided to give y'all the second part because I felt like I left y'all hanging with the first part, but that was my first recording. So if you like these stories, please share, give it a thumbs up, or if you want to hear something else, I have multiple stories I could provide. So just let me know what you think. Have a good one and stay blessed.